Deep Space, Outer Rim Colonies, year 2387. The story opens with the peaceful mining colony of Haven's Rest under brutal attack. The alien race known as the Ravagers has been sweeping through the outer systems, enslaving entire populations. There, massive black ships hover over the colony like metal storms, raining down destruction. Colony Administrator Jack Stone watches helplessly from the command bunker as the last defense towers fall. The Ravagers are not just conquering, they are harvesting. Entire families disappear into their slave ships. Children cry out for parents who will never return. The colony's communication officer, Maria Santos, manages to send out one final transmission before the relay towers are destroyed. Her hands shake as she broadcasts on all emergency frequencies. This is Haven's Rest. We are under attack by unknown hostiles. They are taking our people. If anyone can hear this, we beg for mercy. Please help us. The transmission travels through subspace, reaching dozens of colonies, trading posts, and military outposts. Most ignore it. The Outer Rim is known for its dangers, and few have the resources to help. But one signal reaches something unexpected, deep. In the Sol system, Earth's Naval Command receives the distress call. Admiral Ross Blake, a weathered veteran of the Titan Wars, listens to the recording 3 times. His aide, Commander Lisa Park, stands beside him as they watch the tactical display showing Ravager fleet movements. "Sir, our closest patrol is 6 days away," Park reports. "By then, Blake cuts her off. By then, they'll all be dead or worse." He pauses, studying the star charts. "What about the Ghost Fleet?" Park's face goes pale. "Sir, the Deathworld fleet hasn't been deployed in 15 years. The Council specifically ordered. The Council isn't watching their people get harvested like cattle." Blake interrupts. He activates his personal cone. "Get me Captain Tom Reed. Tell him it's time to wake up the monsters." Meanwhile, on Haven's Rest, the Ravagers begin their systematic collection of survivors. Their leader, War Chief Drex, surveys his prize from the bridge of his flagship. To him, humans are just another weak species to be broken and sold. His ship's database shows Earth as a minor world with limited military capacity. The colonists are herded into containment fields. Jack Stone tries to organize resistance, but their mining equipment is no match for Ravager battle armor. As night falls, the harvest continues. Families are separated, the strong taken for labor, the weak left to die. Maria Santos, hiding in the ruins of the communication center, manages to repair a small transmitter. She sends one more message. "Havens. Rest to anyone. They're taking our children. Someone help us. Please." The transmission fades into static as a Ravager patrol finds her position. Light years away, in the hidden shipyards beyond Pluto, something stirs in the darkness. The Deathworld fleet, humanity's most terrible secret, begins to wake. These are not ordinary warships. They are the nightmare vessels built during humanity's darkest hour, when Earth itself was under siege. Captain Tom Reed stands on the bridge of the flagship Hellhound, watching as his crew runs through activation. Protocols. These men and women are different from regular Navy personnel. They are volunteers from Earth's most dangerous places, survivors of wars, disasters, and conflicts that would break ordinary minds. His tactical officer, Jake Hill, reports readiness status. "All ships are coming online, Captain. The Iron Wolf, Blood Moon, and Storm Reaper are ready for jump." Total complement. 80,000 crew across 12 vessels. Reed nods grimly. The Deathworld fleet was humanity's response to a universe that seemed determined to destroy them. Every ship is crewed by people who have faced death and learned to laugh at it. Every weapon system is designed not just to win battles, but to send a message. Set course for Haven's Rest. Reed orders. Maximum burn. It's time to remind the galaxy why they should fear the humans from the Deathworld. As the fleet prepares to jump, Reed records a message to be broadcast on all frequencies once they arrive. To whoever is attacking human colonies, you asked for mercy. You're about to learn why that was a mistake. The Deathworld fleet vanishes into hyperspace, carrying with it the fury of humanity's darkest angels. On Haven's Rest, War Chief Drex continues his harvest, unaware that he has awakened something far more dangerous than he could imagine. The Ravagers have conquered 100 worlds, enslaved a dozen species, and never faced serious resistance. They are about to learn why Earth is called a Deathworld. Haven's Rest system. 3 days after the initial attack, War Chief Drex stands on his command deck, satisfied with the harvest. Over 50,000 humans have been processed and loaded into slave transports. A colony burns behind them, another victory for the Ravager Empire. His fleet of 30 warships prepares to jump to their next target. War Chief, his sensor operator, reports, detecting hyperspace distortions at the system edge. Multiple contacts incoming. Drex barely glances at the display. Probably another trade convoy stumbling into our trap. Have the hunting packs investigate. But as the hyperspace signatures grow stronger, something feels different. The distortions are too large, too powerful. Drex's veteran instincts begin to whisper warnings. Then they arrive. 12 ships drop out of hyperspace like black daggers cutting through reality. They are unlike anything in the Ravager databases. Angular, predatory vessels that seem to drink in the light of the local star. Each ship bears the mark of humanity. A blue world wrapped in chains of steel. On the bridge of the Hellhound, Captain Reed surveys the tactical display. 30 Ravager vessels against 12 human ships. The enemy has superior numbers. Reed smiles coldly. Numbers never mattered when you were from a Deathworld. All ships. This is Hellhound Actual. Reed broadcasts on the fleet channel. I want a clean sweep. No survivors among the military vessels. Any ship carrying prisoners is to be disabled and boarded. Questions? Storm Reaper here, comes a voice thick with barely controlled rage. What about their flagship? Reed's smile grows darker. Save that one for me. The Ravagers fire first. Plasma cannons and missile swarms streak across space toward the human fleet. It should be devastating. Instead, the human ships dance through the barrage like they're performing some deadly ballet. Their hulls shimmer with energy shields that turn aside attacks that should cripple them. Jake Hill, Reed's tactical officer, calls out targets with mechanical precision. Iron Wolf, take the carrier group at Mark 7. Blood Moon, those destroyers? Think they're clever. Show them otherwise. The human response is swift and merciless. The Iron Wolf opens fire with weapons that shouldn't exist on a ship that size. Ravager shields, designed to stop conventional energy weapons, simply evaporate under the assault. 3 enemy ships die in the first salvo. War Chief Drex watches, in growing horror as his superior fleet is torn apart. What are those weapons? Our shields should hold. His science officer's voice cracks with fear. Gash Chief ... Those aren't normal plasma cannons. The energy signatures. They're using their own star as ammunition somehow. The truth is worse than they know. The Deathworld fleet's weapons are powered by miniature stellar cores, technology born from humanity's desperate fight for survival. Each shot carries the fury of a dying sun. The Blood Moon demonstrates humanity's philosophy of warfare as it closes with a group of Ravager destroyers. Instead of maintaining distance, it rams straight through their formation, its reinforced hull tearing smaller ships apart, while its guns fire at point-blank range. The ship emerges from the wreckage, scarred but intact. On Haven's Rest, The few surviving colonists watch the battle through the smoke. Jack Stone, hiding in the ruins with a handful of others, stares at the tactical displays they've managed to jury-rig. Are those ... human ships? Maria Santos whispers, her voice hoarse from 3 days of hiding. Jack nods slowly. But I've never seen designs like those. Who are they? The answer comes as the battle turns into a massacre. Reed's fleet doesn't just defeat the Ravagers, they humiliate them. Ship after ship dies, their crews screaming final prayers to gods who cannot save them from humanity's wrath. War Chief Drex, his fleet reduced to burning wreckage, tries to run. His flagship, the Bone Crusher, turns away from the slaughter. Engines straining for hyperspace. The Hellhound pursues with predatory patience. Reed doesn't hurry. He wants Drex to feel the fear, to understand what his victims felt. Target their engines, Reed orders calmly. I want them crippled, not destroyed, yet. The Ravager flagship shudders as its drive systems explode. Dead in space, Drex watches the human vessel approach. His crew begs him to surrender, but pride and terror war in his chest. Reed opens a communication channel. His voice, calm and terrifying, fills the Ravager bridge. War Chief Drex, you harvested human colonies for slaves. You separated families. You made children watch their parents die. Drex tries to speak, to offer terms, but Reed continues. I am Captain Tom Reed of the Terran Deathworld fleet. I'm going to board your ship now. I'm going to free every human you've taken. And then I'm going to show you what mercy looks like when it comes from a species that earned its place in the universe by refusing to die. The transmission ends. In the silence that follows, Drex finally understands the magnitude of his mistake. Monsters from the Deathworld have come to collect their debt. Asterisk. Aboard the Ravager flagship, Bone Crusher, the human boarding pods hit the Bone Crusher like metal meteors, punching through the hull with surgical precision. War Chief Drex watches his security feeds in growing terror as armored figures pour from the breaches. These are not ordinary soldiers. The Deathworld fleet's Marines are humanity's answer to a universe that showed no mercy to the weak. Each one is a volunteer from Earth's most dangerous places. Former gang members from Detroit's ruins, survivors from the Australian wasteland wars, veterans from the Siberian death marshes. Sergeant Mike Turner leads the first assault team through the ship's corridors. Behind his helmet's visor, his eyes burn with cold fury. He's seen the holding pens during their approach scan. Families torn apart, children caged like animals. It reminds him too much of his own childhood in the ruins. Of old Chicago, the Ravagers try to mount a defense. Their weapons are powerful, their armor strong by galactic standards. But they've never faced an enemy that treats injury as an inconvenience and death as an occupational hazard. Private Anna Walsh takes 3 plasma bolts to the chest and keeps advancing, her armor's medical systems keeping her alive through pure mechanical rage. She reaches the Ravager gun position and demonstrates why humans from Deathworlds don't use stunners. Her weapon literally disintegrates the enemy soldiers. Sector 7 clear, she reports calmly, as if she hadn't just walked through fire to accomplish it. Meanwhile, Captain Reed makes his way to the bridge with methodical patience. He doesn't rush. Every step is calculated to build psychological pressure on the surviving crew. The ship's internal sensors track his progress, one human walking alone, and somehow 30 trained Ravager warriors can't stop him. Drex activates his personal guards, elite fighters who have conquered worlds. They meet Reed in the central corridor, confident in their superior numbers and experience. The fight lasts 17 seconds. Reed doesn't use any exotic weapons or advanced technology. He simply moves like someone who has faced death so often that it's become a familiar friend. His combat knife finds gaps in armor with surgical precision. His sidearm fires with mechanical accuracy. When it's over, he steps over the bodies without a second glance. On the lower decks, the human Marines reach the slave pens. What they find there hardens faces already carved from stone. Families huddled together in terror. Children who haven't eaten in days. Elderly colonists dying from neglect. Corporal Dave Kim, whose own parents died in the Seoul siege, kneels beside a crying child. His voice, filtered through his helmet speakers, is surprisingly gentle. "Hey there, kiddo. We're here to take you home." The child looks up with eyes too old for her face. "Are you angels?" Kim's laugh is dark with old pain. "No, sweetheart, we're something much worse. We're humans who got angry." The rescue operation proceeds with deadly efficiency. The Deathworld Fleet Marines have practiced this scenario 1,000 times. Every freed prisoner is cataloged, medically assessed, and prepared for transport. No one is left behind. That's the human way. On the bridge, Reed finally faces War Chief Drex. The Ravager leader is a massive creature, bred for war and conquest. His natural weapons could tear apart most species. But as he looks into Reed's cold eyes, he sees something. That makes his warrior's heart freeze. "You wanted to harvest humans," Reed says conversationally, removing his helmet to reveal a face scarred by a lifetime of violence. "Did you research us first? Did you learn about our world?" Drex tries to speak, to negotiate, but Reed continues. "Earth kills everything. The weather, the animals, the plants, the diseases, the natural disasters. Even the bacteria try to murder us. We didn't become apex predators despite our world trying to kill us. We became apex predators because our world tried to kill us." The Ravager chief finally finds his voice. We can negotiate. There are laws of war. Reed's smile is colder than the space between stars. Laws are for civilized species. You forfeited that protection when you caged our children. The final confrontation is brief but educational. Reed demonstrates why humans don't. Fear death. They've learned to weaponize it. Drex, for all his size and strength, discovers that physical power means nothing against an enemy who has transcended the survival instinct as the bone crusher is secured. Reed broadcasts on all frequencies. "This is Captain Reed of the Terran. Deathworld Fleet. Any species currently holding human prisoners has 24 hours to release them unharmed. After that, we stop asking nicely." The message spreads across subspace networks, reaching every corner of known space. The galaxy is about to learn why Earth is classified as a Deathworld dot and why its children are so much worse. Asterisk various locations. Across the galaxy, 48 hours after the Haven's Rest battle, the news spreads like wildfire through the galactic communication networks. A single human fleet destroyed an entire Ravager battle group in less than 6 hours. War Chief Drex, terror of a dozen sectors, found dead on his own bridge with a human combat knife in his chest. On the trading station Deep Harbor, alien merchants huddle around communication displays, watching grainy footage from the battle. The images are terrifying. Human ships that seem to absorb weapons fire and respond with the fury of dying stars. Captain Nix, a veteran Centauri trader, shakes his four-armed frame as he reviews shipping manifests. "Cancel all routes through human space," he orders his crew. "I don't care what the profit margins look like." His first mate, a young Altarian named Kess, doesn't understand. "Captain, humans have been peaceful traders for decades. This could be an isolated incident." Nix's ancient eyes hold memories of older, darker times. "Boy, I was flying cargo ships during the Titan Wars. I've seen what humans do when you push them too far. They don't just win wars. They make examples that last for generations." Meanwhile, in the luxurious council chambers of the Galactic Trade Federation, Emergency sessions run around the clock. The Federation represents 127 different species, and for the first time in centuries, they're genuinely afraid of one of them. Council Speaker Vex, an elderly Zephyrin whose species prides itself on logic and calculation, addresses the assembly. The economic implications are staggering. 15 major shipping conglomerates have suspended all operations near human space. Insurance companies are classifying any interaction with Earth vessels as catastrophic risk. Representative Mora of the Andromedan Collective raises a scaled hand. Perhaps we're overreacting. One battle doesn't indicate. She's cut off as new reports flood in. 3 more Ravager fleets have gone dark near human colonies. Long-range sensors detect debris fields where proud war fleets once patrolled. The pattern is always the same. Total annihilation, with any slave ships recovered intact and their prisoners freed. On the war world of Keth Prime, General Thane reviews intelligence reports with growing unease. His species, the Kethans, have built their reputation on military might. They've conquered 17 systems through superior tactics and overwhelming firepower. Sir, his aide reports, our deep space monitors recorded the energy signatures from the Haven's Rest battle. The power output from those human ships, it shouldn't be possible from vessels that size. Thane studies the tactical projections. The Kethan war machine has never faced a serious challenge. Their doctrine is based on gradual escalation, overwhelming enemy positions through superior numbers and firepower. But the human approach seems to skip all intermediate steps and go straight to total destruction. Have any of our forces encountered these Deathworld fleet ships? He asks. No, sir. But 3 of our patrol squadrons have reported being shadowed by unidentified vessels near the border systems. The contacts vanish before we can get sensor locks. Thane's blood runs cold. The humans aren't just responding to attacks. They're probing Kethan defenses, learning their patterns. It's the behavior of predators selecting their prey. Back on Earth, Admiral Blake stands in the war room, surrounded by holographic displays showing fleet positions across known space. Reports pour in from every sector, alien forces withdrawing. From human space, trade routes being rerouted, military buildups being quietly scaled back. Sir, Commander Park reports, we're receiving diplomatic overtures from 17 different species. They're all asking the same thing. How do we avoid provoking the Deathworld fleet? Blake nods grimly. This is the reaction they wanted, but it comes with consequences. What about the Ravagers? Any response from their high command? That's the interesting part, sir. Our intelligence suggests the Ravager Empire is in chaos. Apparently, War Chief Drex was one of their most successful commanders. His death has triggered succession wars across their territory. The strategy is working perfectly. The Deathworld fleet hasn't just won a battle. They've sent a message that resonates across the galaxy. Humanity is not prey. They are the apex predators of their own Deathworld, and they're willing to prove it. But the most significant reaction comes from an unexpected source. In the hidden bases of the Void Seekers, a mysterious species that has observed galactic politics from the shadows for millennia, ancient beings stir from their contemplations. Elder Sage Wrath, whose consciousness spans multiple dimensions, speaks to the gathering. The children of the Deathworld have awakened. The patterns are shifting. What we have long predicted is beginning. Should we intervene? Asks another voice from the collective. No, Wrath responds, his mental voice carrying the weight of eons. Let them burn. The galaxy has grown soft, complacent. Perhaps it needs to remember that evolution never stops, and the strong survive by being willing to do what others cannot. The message is clear throughout known space. Humanity has drawn a line in the void. Cross it at your own peril. The age of taking human mercy for granted is over. *1 year after the Haven's Rest incident, Various locations, the galaxy has learned to fear the blue planet. On New Geneva, the largest human colony outside Sol System, Administrator Helen Cruz reviews the quarterly reports with satisfaction. Trade has increased by 300%, with alien species eager to maintain positive relationships with humanity. The orbital defense platforms, once considered adequate, have been upgraded with technology borrowed from defeated Ravager ships. Ma'am, her aide reports, the Centauri Federation is requesting permission to establish a permanent diplomatic embassy. They're offering very favorable trade agreements. Helen smiles. A year ago, the Centaurians barely acknowledged human existence. Now they're begging for alliance. Tell them we'll consider it. After appropriate security reviews, of course. The security reviews are the new reality. Every alien delegation must submit to deep background checks. Every trade agreement includes clauses about the treatment of human citizens. The galaxy has learned that humanity's patience has limits. In deep space, Captain Reed stands on the bridge of the Hellhound, watching his crew run combat drills. The Deathworld fleet has grown since Haven's Rest. New ships join the formation monthly, crewed by volunteers who understand that peace is maintained through the promise of overwhelming violence. Captain Jake Hill reports long-range sensors are detecting a large fleet moving toward the Epsilon sector. Configuration suggests Kethan military vessels. Reed studies the tactical display. The Kethans have been testing human resolve for months, probing border systems, trying to gauge the extent of humanity's new military doctrine. Apparently, they've decided to escalate. Signal the fleet, Reed orders. All ships are to prepare for hyperspace jump. It's time to remind the galaxy that our message wasn't a bluff. Their response is immediate and coordinated. 12 ships become 24 as additional Deathworld fleet vessels emerge from stealth positions. They've been waiting, watching, ready, to demonstrate that humanity's reach extends far beyond what most species imagined. On Earth, in the halls of the Global Defense Council, world leaders gather for their monthly strategy session. President Maria Rodriguez of the Americas Union addresses the assembly. The economic benefits of our new position are undeniable. Alien technology transfers, favorable trade agreements, security guarantees from former enemies. But we must ask ourselves, what are the long-term costs? Prime Minister James Chun of the Asian Federation nods thoughtfully. Our children are growing up in a different galaxy than we did. They see aliens not as mysterious neighbors, but as potential threats to be managed. Is that the legacy we want? Admiral Blake, present as military advisor, provides the harsh truth. With respect, the galaxy made that choice for us when they allowed species like the Ravagers to operate unchecked. We're not the aggressors here. We're simply the first species to respond to aggression with appropriate force. The debate continues, but the reality is clear. Humanity has crossed a threshold. They can never return to being the naive newcomers who trusted in galactic civilization's basic decency. In the ruins of the Ravager Empire, former slaves worked to build new lives on liberated worlds. The human Deathworld fleet didn't just destroy the military. They systematically dismantled the entire slave trading infrastructure. Breeding facilities were razed. Processing centers were reduced to atomic dust. The message was unmistakable. Slavery is now a capital offense. War Chief Vok, one of the few surviving Ravager leaders, broadcasts from his hidden base. The humans have declared war on our way of life. They offer no terms, no negotiations. They simply kill anyone who defies their moral code. His words carry across the criminal underworld, reaching pirates, slavers, and other predators who once saw the galaxy as their hunting ground. The consensus is unanimous. Avoid humans at all costs. But in the shadows, other forces begin to move. The Void Seekers, ancient observers of galactic politics, start to take a more active interest. Elder Sage Wrath communes with his collective. The children of the Death World have exceeded our projections. They don't simply survive, they impose their survival on others. Is this problematic? Another consciousness asks. Unknown, but fascinating. We have watched 1,000 species rise and fall. Most destroy themselves through internal conflict. Others are destroyed by external forces. The humans seem to be the first to successfully externalize their internal violence. They have made their entire species more dangerous by giving their darkest impulses a constructive outlet. The observation spreads through the collective consciousness. Humanity represents something new in galactic evolution, a species that has weaponized its own capacity for violence in service of its own moral code. As the year ends, the galaxy has found its new balance. Humanity stands as the enforcer of its own justice, backed by ships full of volunteers who have learned that sometimes mercy must be delivered at the point of a gun. The age of human innocence is over. The age of human dominance has begun, and the galaxy will never be the same. The end asterisk.